Victoria's Supreme Court has ruled against more than 1,000 Australian women who launched a class action against the maker of their birth control device, pharmaceutical giant Bayer. Cyan Valence has the details from Melbourne for us. So Cyan, take us through what this class action was claiming.
These women involved in the class action claimed that Bayer's contraceptive device, the Essure coil, caused them debilitating pain and a lot of bleeding for years, to the point that half of the women involved in this action, that's hundreds, up to 500, needed to have hysterectomies, some of them while they were in their 30s. Now, they were recommended by their doctors that this was the best way to prevent pregnancy permanently. And what happened was that there was a coil inserted that caused scar tissue to then block the fallopian tubes. Now, Bayer settled a similar lawsuit in the United States for $1.6 billion, but it has defended this one from the moment it was launched back in 2019. Justice Keogh today found in Bayer's favour, finding that the women did not prove that the contraceptive coil was the cause of their pain and bleeding. He says their evidence was far from compelling, and he also said that he had to make this decision in the context that a lot of women of reproductive age suffer from pain in and bleeding around the pelvic area, and so he's saying that it cannot be narrowed down to just this cause. He's saying that that pain and bleeding can have many reasons, that its diagnosis is complex and there are lots of factors, and so in this case the women have failed to prove that it was the Essure device that caused it. Now, Bayer has released a statement and they have said they have welcomed this decision, while Slater and Gordon, which represented the women, says they're thankful to the lead plaintiff for her courage and they will review the judge's decision.
So what's been the reaction to the decision then, Cyan?
Well, Bayer, as I said, has welcomed it, whereas many of the women who were part of this class action did actually go along to court today. There were dozens of them packed inside to hear what the judge said when he handed it down, and some of them were calm. We had one of the women come out today and say she had emotionally prepared for both decisions, and while she was incredibly disappointed, she hopes that other young women learn from this and think very carefully about what they do use for contraception. We spoke to some other women who are quite simply devastated, and they say this is representative of what happens to many women. They say they feel gaslit and they believe that their pain and their bleeding was caused by this device, but today a Supreme Court Justice has found that it hasn't.
I'm a bit disappointed, obviously, but we had our day in court. That's all we could ask. We made it to the Supreme Court, which is, more than I ever thought we would get to. I mean, I've gone from it's all in my head to the Supreme Court. So, though disappointing, it's a good outcome. I mean, we were heard, so we're grateful, extremely grateful.
So Slater and Gordon has said that they will be reviewing that decision, and as yet it's not known if they will appeal.